Video games. We all love it, we all play it. We even discover the fears that we visualize turning it into the monster we must face. But I'm here to tell you that I know some games where not even your characters will make it to the end. Trust me, the ending is more disturbing than you think. And it involves a childhood's favorite video game character. Something that Sega doesn't want you to know about. Greetings everyone, my name is Rojo, a living being that makes everyone ask, what in God's name is that? Admit it, you and I, we have something in common. Video games. We play them all the time when we have nothing else to do, even make it as an excuse to not do anything at all. But I'll let you in on a little secret. I have a game that happens to be possessed by a demonic entity, and I'm not talking about myself. Like this one, for example. Think this is a normal Sonic game, right? Well, watch this. The face of pure evil. Well, to a kid playing this, that is. What you're seeing is Sonic.exe, a game that was made as a fan game for the same name of the Creepypasta story. It was also said to be the founding father of different EXE horror games, just like how the Slender Man became the founding father of creepypastas. Try changing that opinion. I'm not kidding, it was because of this game that so many other replicas were made. Kind of the same way it was for Five Nights at Freddy's, but this was before we started having all those mascot horror games. Much like the creepypasta stories themselves, there are some good games and most of the ones that were bad, but before we get to those games, let's learn about the one EXE game that started it all. This is the story of Sonic.exe, summarized by yours truly. Tom was a huge Sonic the Hedgehog fan who got a copy of the game from his friend Kyle. In it, there was a letter from Kyle warning Tom not to play the game and destroy it. Obviously, Tom doesn't listen and proceeds to try out the game. He brings out a disc that had writing on a black marker that said Sonic.exe. He inserts it into the computer, and then the fun begins. The normal title screen of Sonic the Hedgehog plays, and in a split second we get this creepy image. Sonic's eyes are black with red pupils, and blood trailing down. In the background is a gray sky with a blood-red ocean. The Sega 1991 copyright changed it to Sega 666, my favorite number. At first he was concerned about the game, but dismissed it as a glitch. After it stayed as a black screen for about 10 seconds, it then showed a save file select screen from Sonic the Hedgehog 3. But there were only 3 files. One with Tails, one with Knuckles, and one with Dr. Eggman. Oh, wait, sorry, I meant Dr. Robotnik. Because apparently making sure you say the right name matters so much to people that played the Sonic games before. In the background, we see the same gray dark sky from the title screen, with music from Earthbound. At this point, Tom believes this is a hacked version of Sonic. Tom selects the Tails save file, the game freezes for about 5 seconds, then the Kefka laugh is heard before cutting to black. The level text screen appears saying Hill, Act 1, which shows Tails in the Green Hill level. The music is heard playing an unknown song, but in reverse. The odd thing about this level is that as Tails is running, or I guess walking in this case through the level, there are no obstacles or pits to jump over, just flat ground and a few trees. However, as Tails progresses through the level, that is when the creeps come in. Small animals are seen brutally murdered throughout the level, which gave Tails a shocked expression on his face. Stabbed, decapitated, hung, PETA would be heavily against this game by now. After a few seconds, the music stops, leaving the game to be completely silent until Sonic appears at the far end of the screen, smiling with his eyes closed. Tails stops for a second, then slowly approaches Sonic. Static is heard getting louder and louder the closer Tails gets to Sonic. Then the static stops and Sonic opens his eyes, looking at Tails for a split second before cutting to black. His eyes are still black with red pupils on them. Fear creeps up on Tom as text appears on a black screen. Hello, do you want to play with me? Another level shows up as Hide and Seek, where a terrified Tails is standing in what appears to be a destroyed version of Angel Island. In the background, a wall of flames shooting up into the sky is all that is seen. When not moving, Tails is seen breaking the fourth wall to Tom by pointing to the right as he looks at him. Flashes of Sonic appear all over the screen as Tails runs while he laughs. Then all of a sudden, the drowning music can be heard as Sonic slowly floats his way towards Tails. No matter what Tom does, Tails can't run as fast as he usually would be in a normal Sonic game. Once Sonic catches up to Tails, the music stops and Tails is seen crying. Aww. After a few seconds of silence, Sonic appears in front of Tails, this time with blood tearing down from his eyes. In a split second, Sonic then stabs Tails, who then starts screaming as the screen goes black. The text came up saying, "You're too slow. Want to try again? The game then shows the file select screen again with Tails shown on the TV screen part of the file box. Tails at this point doesn't look like himself, but instead shows that his fur becomes black and has the same bleeding eyes as Sonic's. Tom at this point was horrified to realize what kind of game he was playing, going as far as to say that it isn't the Sonic he knows and loves, but instead some monster possessing him. I wonder what gave that away. But he then continues by selecting the Knuckles save file. The laugh played again and the screen went black, then showed the name of the level. You Can't Run. It then shows Knuckles in the same kind of level as Tails. The only difference is that this level has the floor from the Scrap Brain Zone. The music seems to be the Gygas boss battle music, which in itself is creepy at best. After a few seconds of running, static cuts in and out, then followed by the laughter from the monster itself. After that, several bloodstains are seen on the metallic floor. Sonic then appears in front of Knuckles, who was horrified, as it cuts to static, and then a black screen with text appearing yet again. Found you! After another static appears, the level appears again, but this time it looked like Knuckles was in a boss battle fight with Sonic. High-pitched squealing can be heard throughout the remainder of this level. Sonic was behind Knuckles in what seems to be pixelated black smoke. Tom tries to get Knuckles to fight Sonic, but he then teleports behind Knuckles as soon as he gets close. Knuckles becomes more panicked the longer it goes on. He then collapses on the floor on his knees. This is when Sonic goes in for another kill. Another text message appears. So many souls to play with, so little time. Won't you agree? Then Tom was brought back to the selection menu screen with Knuckles placed in the same place in his own box just like Tails. Tom couldn't believe what was happening to his favorite characters. Why was Sonic killing his best friends? Who is possessing this hedgehog? Who even made this game? Tom, clearly horrified, shuts off the game and decides to stay away from that game. But after a nightmare-inducing dream he decides to go back and finish the game as Dr. Robotnik. Well, that didn't take long. The name appears saying, well, just 3 dots. And we see Dr. Robotnik in some kind of hallway with checkered floors and torches lined up and lit. Robotnik looks worried as he traverses the hallway. The music appears to be the same as the one in Hill, but not played in reverse. Tom controls Robotnik to go down the long flight of stairs. When he reaches the bottom, the wall and torches change. When Robotnik reaches the bottom of the 3rd floor, laughter can be heard as the torches go out. After a while, Sonic then appears in front of Robotnik. The game then goes to another static that lasts for about 15 seconds. This is where the image pops up. A hyper-realistic demonic Sonic head shows up on the screen. Sonic was smiling sadistically as the screen flickered, which then played a more demonic Kefka laugh. A text appears at the top saying, "I am God." Then the game goes to the final static. Ready for round 2, Tom? An image of Tails, Knuckles, and Dr. Robotnik is seen brutally murdered as Sonic looks at the screen while it plays the Game Over jingle from Sonic's CD. Tom's computer then shuts off itself, traumatizing him for the rest of his life. Wow, what a story. Of course, it was only summarized. The actual story had more to it, like what Tom's nightmare was and the plushie at the end. And it's because of the story that someone made the game itself, and with that, many fan games was made to try to replicate the story, but none could compare to the king itself. A lot of EXE games that were made back then were really bad. The quality, the gameplay, the story itself, even the cheap jump scares, it just repeats over and over again, almost like a bad cliched lost episode pasta. As for the characters, it did seem like they were trying to make any character be possessed by a demonic being, but most of the time it didn't really work. I just get bored looking at the gameplay itself, and so do a lot of people when they see these games. One person even made a parody EXE games where even death itself was getting tired of doing the same thing over and over again. And believe me, even that was fun to play. As for Sonic.exe, it continued very well throughout its life. There were remakes that made it scarier, indie games that included the demonic hedgehog itself, even hat games including Sonic.exe were made. My favorite was the Sonic.exe mod for Sonic Generations. It reskinned an entire Green Hill level, Sonic has his EXE animations, it featured Tails, Shadow, and Silver as their EXE counterparts, and what was at the end of the Hill level? A dead Tails as that scream was heard. However, there is one game that was said to be just like Sonic.exe, but far scarier than the original game itself. Sonic.exe. This game was fucking terrifying. It took Sonic.exe to a whole new level of fucked up. I mean, look at this game. Look at the character. When I first saw this game, it terrified me so much I almost couldn't sleep for a long while. The jump scares, the glitches, the glorious kills. It was terrifyingly perfect. Much like Sonic.exe, this is a demonic being that has corrupted the game and possessed the Blue Blur himself, killing all of his friends and even Eggman himself. The only difference is how the character looks. This one only had one eye, his arms were longer with razor-sharp claws, a smile with sharp teeth can always be seen, and he even has markings on his chest, arms, and legs. He almost looks like a Doom character. There is a wiki that explains more about this being, where he even possesses tails after he was burned alive at the end of the game. Honestly, as I'm talking about this, even when I was typing this script a while ago, I'm shaking just remembering the whole thing. Good thing Tom wasn't playing that version of Sonic, otherwise he would never touch a single video game ever. If he's even alive, that is. I hope to God that he wasn't killed by that plushie. That would have been an embarrassing way to die. So remember, when you get a Sonic game and things get a little weird, make sure you destroy it. Tom kept playing the game and dealt with the consequences. Never trust a hacked game, otherwise you'll meet a fate worse than death himself. Thanks for watching this video. If you guys want to watch me play those games while getting myself scared shitless, then comment down below. Leave a like and subscribe for more content like this, and don't forget to hit that bell icon to know when my videos come out. Until then, keep your fears and anxiety levels high. I'll see you very soon.